Let us see this sum. Here the current is coming from y-axis and then spreading onto xz plane. Coming from y-axis and spreading onto xz plane. Which direction is it spreading? It is spreading in all directions. Maybe this side, this side, this side, this side. Spreading everywhere uniformly. All sides it is spreading, not only in the sides which I am showing. I cannot represent all, but it is entirely shaded, means it is spreading everywhere uniformly in all directions, and the plane also extends up to
In XZ plane, sir.
yes, in complete xz plane, and it is going symmetrically also, spreading out symmetrically, and up to what it is going, maybe up to infinity along both sides. This plane is infinite, minus infinity also, minus infinity this coming from plus infinity in y-axis and then spreading onto the xz plane. Question is, what is the field at a point P here, P1 let us say, and a point P2 here. P2 is below and P1 is above. P1 is at a distance R from here and P2 is also at a distance of R from here. Find out the fields at P1 and P2. Use ACL, Ampere circuital law. If you know how to use, you will be getting it right, definitely. In fact, I can ask you this question also. What is the field due to the plane? What is the field due to the current which is spreading on the plane? Just find out the field due to that. Leave the vertical part. Vertical part is otherwise also easy. We have to find out only field due to the current spreading onto the plane, which is radially spreading out in the plane. Can you find this?
0.
Where field is 0? Which place is it 0? And why?
At any line, current will be in both directions.
At any line? Current will be what?
In the plane in one direction, in both directions, front and back.
Current is everywhere. Well, what do you mean by only one side? I don't understand. It is the back side as well as this side also. This side also, this side also. That's everywhere it is spreading radially outwards. What does it mean? What do you mean by spreading radially outwards?
Take one straight line.
Where I take straight line? Where do I take?
Passing through that center.
Which side? Along x-axis, along z-axis. There are so many lines possible perpendicular to z-axis.
On plane.
On plane also I can take infinite lines.
Any line.
So, okay, I am taking one line. Now tell what you want to say.
In that line, towards positive z-axis,
Not
current
what
and
you mean
the
by
same
positive?
current.
This line itself is not along z-axis. In this line, it will be this side as well as that side, both sides. Radially outwards.
One side, sun will be passing.
What? What are you saying? I don't understand again.
One side, how much amount of current was passing one side, the same passes to another side.
I don't know what you are talking about, but you are not understanding definitely anything. It is spreading uniformly on the surface, on the whole surface. It is spreading. It is not like a wire which is carrying current here I and here also it was I and here also it is I. Not like that. This current which is over a angle d theta here, same current will be over an angle d theta even if the area keeps on becoming larger and larger. So current per unit length k will keep on decreasing as we move away. Here this current is concentrated, then this is getting spread, but it is spreading uniformly along the sheet. Okay. Now you are silent completely. What happened?
Sir,
Yes.
it gone and again it came now, sir.
I am saying that the current is spreading uniformly in all directions. It is spreading uniformly in all directions. I cannot take it like a wire so that the current here and here is same. It is spreading over an angle d theta. So whatever lies within angle d theta, that will be same only. The current flowing per unit length will become less as we keep on moving radially outwards.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
In fact, I don't need to tell it. Means it is understood that if this is a perfectly symmetric case, some wire is giving current in downward direction. Let us say it is not a. Let us say it is a pipe and water is spreading through it. How will the water spread? Will it spread in one line or will it spread uniformly in all the directions? If the water is splashing into it, huh?
Uniform in all
Same way
directions.
here also. Same way here also. Why I even have to clarify this thing? Means it is understood. It is automatically understood that the current which is coming here into this plane, it will not be preferring any one particular direction as compared to the other. It will be spreading uniformly in all the possible directions. Now you find out you are not understanding the situation so far, and how will you do the answer? Get the answer for this. Find out P1 and P2. Current at field at P1 and P2. Is it looking like symmetry case or not? First of all,
Yes, sir.
if I take a point P here or here at a distance R, as long as the distance is R, I think I can choose anywhere on this circle.
Circle.
Anywhere on this circle, the field must be same. You understand that or not? Whatever the direction is, I don't know. For the time being, I don't know the direction. Here also, I don't know the direction. But I'm sure about one thing, that the field in this circle will be, again, same. Whether I take circle below or I take circle above. You understood this part?
Why it is same?
Because of symmetry. Where it will be more? Tell me. Which side it will be more? Or which side it will be less? Means any one side you are thinking that this is different from that. Is A point different from B? How are you thinking that A point is different from B? Why? Because A is towards your right. Just that is the reason, because A is towards your right. If the person is watching from the back side, for him this point will appear like whatever. I am looking from this side. I'm looking from this side. For me, this point is same as for you. You are looking from the opposite side. For you, this point is same or not?
Yes, sir.
So if I am saying that here field is B, will you say here also it is B or not?
Yes, sir.
If some person is looking from this side, for him this point is now same towards his right, then he will say, if let us say you don't have capability to solve this question. Let us say you don't know how to solve this question, but I am the teacher and I know how to solve, and I have already solved it. And I am now doing one thing. I am saying I will not give you the answer, but I am telling only one thing, that while I am looking at it, I am looking from this side. From this side I am looking at it, and I will say that while I am looking at it, if I look towards my this left side right side arm, right, then here at a point B, at point P1, the field is B. But I am telling you, you find out field at this place or at this place. But if you are using your logic now, then you can understand that if we can find for this place and I am looking from this side, then same way I can find from my perspective also, and I can find in this place. One boy will be looking from this side. He will say I can find at this place now. So I am saying it is B1 and he is saying it is also B1, then he is saying it is also B1, then everywhere it is B1 only on the circle. Right or
Yes,
not?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is what we call, that is what we mean by symmetry. It is a perfectly symmetric case. So, same way for the blue circle also. But I cannot say, I cannot claim that whatever is at P1, that field will be at P2 also. Why I can't claim here? Because somehow I am noticing
One wire is near to
there is
P1.
one wire is going through it in between, but there is nothing going here. This current is just spreading away and it is not even coming down also. So somehow I am feeling, I have a gut feeling that at P2 and P1 definitely it cannot be same. It has to be different, something different. If it turns out to be same after calculating, that is a different issue. But I'm sure about one more thing again. Whatever is at P2, same will be at all other points on this blue circle. Is it right or not? Say something.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is my expectation? How could I choose the field to be? Now, one possibility is that field can be in maybe this direction, making some angle theta with the radial line. And so that I can take one component parallel and one component radial. I can take two components or not. I can take radial component and I can take parallel component. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I choose these two components, parallel and the radial, then in this circle, in this ring, everybody will understand that parallel component for all of these us will be same and the radial component for all of us will also be same. If it is radially outwards, then everywhere it will be radially outwards, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Then if I assume the radial component outwards only, then I can notice that if I take a small cylindrical element here, then because of the radial components, there will be flux coming out of it, magnetic flux that will be equal to something B into, let us say 2 pi r into length, I'm taking small length, maybe dl, B into 2 pi r into dl. That flux will be coming out. Is it right or not? Flux coming out will become B into 2 pi r into dl through this surface. If I assume field to be, okay, one more thing, sorry. Why don't I assume field to be upwards and downwards? Can the field be upwards and downwards also? I have to look for those cases also. Could it be upwards or could it be downwards? What is the direction of field? I have to guess the direction of the field. Could it be upwards or could it be downwards also or not?
Yes, sir. It could be.
Let us check once now. If I assume it is having this side, one thing is sure, if somebody is assuming upwards here, then here also he has to assume upwards. Here also he has to assume upwards. That is what we mean by symmetry. We cannot do this thing like here upwards and here there downwards, because it is a perfectly symmetric case. If I assume upwards in one place, then it will be upwards in the other place also. Right. This is how we will start then. But I can notice one thing here, that this component is which component here? The component which is upwards, let us call it V, what you want to call it. I will call it as B parallel to the wire, and I will call it as B radial, and the third one I will call as B
Beta.
tangential, beta, tangential, top or tangent, B tangential. So if I am having these three components, one parallel to the wire, one tangential, one radial, then out of these, if I take B dot dl around a closed loop, which will be contributing towards that? B
Beta.
perpendicular or B r radial or B tangential?
Beta.
B
Beta,
tangential
beta.
into dl into
Beta.
cos 0. But what about due to B parallel? B parallel
90
into
degrees.
dl cos 90. And what about due to radial? Due to radial also it is
90.
So I am just getting B tau into dl into cos 0 degrees. That I have to do, and that is equal to mu naught into current enclosed. What is the current enclosed inside it? I current going down. And I think if it is going down, then I have this understanding also that I should have taken tau not in this side, but by right hand thumb rule, I could have taken it B tau in this direction, right? So that this angle becomes 0 degrees. Otherwise, it will not become 0. It will become 180 degrees, right? So this. So I'm getting finally beta. Now everybody knows that beta everywhere will be same. Here also same beta. Here also same beta. That beta will be same everywhere. If beta is same everywhere, this tangent component, then I can write beta into total length, which is 2 pi r, is equal to mu naught into current inside, which is I given as I. Then I'm getting beta is equal to simply mu naught I divided by, this is what we got. This is what we got. But the point is it the net field or is it just a tangential field here? That is still one point.
Component.
It's just a
one component,
tangential
right?
field.
Means maybe there is another net field is somewhat different and this is just a component only. It may not be the net field actually. That we don't know till now. But if I now I will have to prove it that the other components are actually not there. Those are actually 0 only. Now I have to think some clever way to imagine that the other components, why those all will not exist, or if they're existing, or maybe they are existing. I have to think either if they are existing, then how they are. We have to try to imagine it. And if they are not existing, then those definitely have to be 0. But at least one thing we are certain about, that the tangential component will be having value mu naught into I upon 2 pi r. This question is of Irodov. I don't know in that what he asked. Did he ask to find out the net field, or is he asking to find out just the tangential? If he's asking just to find out the tangential, then our job is already done, and then we are happy about it. Similarly, if he's asking to find out the tangential field in this space, in the this blue line, then I think everybody understands what it will be now. Same way we will proceed, but the right hand side will be no current is enclosed inside.
0.
So this
0.
beta will become 0. This blue color, or at how will you represent it? You call it B dash. Here you call it as beta. Here you call it as B dash tau. So B dash tau is coming out to be 0 by the same logic, right? As far as B parallel is there and B radial is there, now these things I have to think about these actually, whether these are there or not. If everywhere B perpendicular parallel is there, here also, then what will happen? Then some flux will be coming out of it. And okay, one more thing I think I should specify first before continuing this discussion. Did I tell you that magnetic field lines always form closed loop?
Yes, sir.
If I told you that, then from there can you say this thing, that the flux of magnetic field line in a closed surface will always be equal to 0. Why so? Take any closed surface. Let us say we take this closed surface here. In this closed surface, whatever field line is entering, that is also leaving. Means in the one place the flux is negative, other place flux is becoming positive. So any closed surface, whenever you take, in the closed surface, the net flux coming out should always be 0. So I am just imagining that if I take a closed surface here, in this way, and if I take a small surface here, then I'm getting some relation between V parallel and B R, I think so. How? I will be getting B, what is the flux coming out of it? B radial. B radial here and here. Will it be same or will it be different? That is also one thing. Okay, I think first of all, before I continue further.
How flux 0?
Where flux 0?
In closed loop.
This thing I said that only. I was saying that magnetic field lines are entering as well as leaving. What is the number of field lines entering in this closed region, yellow region? What are the field lines entering in this overall? Say.
Yes,
Say something.
same, sir. Same. Entering equal to leaving.
Then what is the flux passing through it?
Yes, sir. 0.
0 only. Flux passing will be 0 always.
Yes.
Because the magnetic field lines always form closed loop. If they form closed loop, then the field lines which will be entering the surface will also be coming out. And when they enter, we take that flux as negative. When they come out, we take that flux as positive. So overall, the net flux becomes 0 only, right or not? Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is okay. And I will be coming to this part here again. Discussion on this is still pending, but B parallel and B radial. But we are able to obtain, and let us satisfy ourselves for this, for the timing, that B tangential is 0 in one case. And in other case, B tangential is just mu naught into I by 2 pi r. That much is enough for us for the timing. And after some time, I will analyze it, what happens to this B parallel and B radial. But before that, I have more pressing things to do. And one is that toroid, solenoid cases, those are very basic cases. Those I have to take definitely. Okay. Solenoid first. Solenoid is nothing but a spring-like structure. Solenoid is just a spring-like. This kind of structure is solenoid.
Helical.
We call it helical. Yes, helical structure. So the current is going through this spring, let us say, coming out here and going through this side. And I can represent this solenoid by this way also. There is another way to represent it. Let me show how. This is a common way you will see the solenoid is represented. Current is entering here, entering, coming out here, coming out here, dot. Okay, as many crosses, that many dots. I have not taken care, but you understand, If one wire is giving current here, then same wire is coming back from that side, and then again current is entering, then it is coming from back, again entering that side. Like that it is happening. So as many crosses, that many dots will be there in this. And this current in the beginning started from here, originated from here, and then finally it comes out from which side it is, which side it is going here. I think I made it when go inside, and then from back side only it is just turning now. It is from back side only, from back side of this. Anyway, the point is that how to find out the field at the axis, anywhere at axis. Is there a way to find out the field? To be able to find out the field, first of all, we cannot even use ACL until and unless somebody tells me that how to integrate B dot here. And that I cannot integrate if I don't have clarity about the angle made between B and DL. So I have to choose my loop along which this is line integral. I have to take the line integral in such a way so that I am able to get this integral easily. Otherwise, there is no chance I can get the magnetic field. So let me make a choice here. Long solenoid. First of all, we are finding out field due to long solenoid. What is meaning of long solenoid?
Infinite.
Radius is less compared to the total length of the solenoid. Length of the solenoid is different from the length of the wire. We are not talking about the length of the wire. That is different. We are talking about just length along the axis. That is meant by length of the solenoid. That length has to be much more than the radius of this spring. Radius of spring means radius of the cylinder on which this spring is wound. We can think like that. Now, if I take a loop, this type of loop here, rectangular loop, and we are going from A to B, B to C, C to D. Then what will be the line integral, and what direction of field you expect it to be? I think if you use the right hand thumb rule, then from that I can get the direction of field easily. What is the direction of field? Are you getting this? Take your hold the wire by your hand, and then see how the field is coming inside it, inside the solenoid, not outside. Inside only you have to see. Inside the solenoid, field will be coming this way or not? Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing here, these field lines which are coming, this flux of the field lines which is coming from this small region, this flux is spreading throughout the surface finally. Is it spreading throughout the surface or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it so happens that because it is spreading throughout the surface, if I take this loop very long and I go up to very large distance, then at that large distance A, B, C, B, after going large distance, I think field here will be nearly zero or not? Because what do we mean by field? Field is stronger where the field lines are closer. We are doing it for several times. When the field lines are closer, that represents the field strength. There the field strength will be more. But when the field lines, let us say 3 field lines are coming, and those 3 field lines are now reaching in the entire space, then definitely those will be very much dispersed. 3 means 3 units. 3 unit means it could be 3 lakh, 3 million, whatever you choose. If these are 3 million field lines coming, and those 3 million field lines are spreading, although there are infinite, obviously, we cannot take that these are discrete field lines. But in order to understand it, these field lines finally spreading over the entire space. So between D to C, the field line will be nearly very less, negligible, zero field we can think.
Zero.
It will be negligible, it will be zero field. Is there any other way to prove that it is nearly zero field? Yes, I have another way to prove also. What are this solenoid? What is this solenoid actually? This solenoid is nothing but these are current carrying loops. If it has total n number of turns, then what is the magnetic moment of the solenoid? Then magnetic moment of solenoid will become n times I times
IA.
pi r square. That's the
Pi r
magnetic moment of the solenoid. And what is the formula for the field due to that magnetic moment? Magnetic moment will be in this direction. And by looking from a very long distance away, now already L was very large as compared to R, but L was not infinite. And now we are going at a very, very large distance away, let us say here. And this distance is even much larger than L also. Then this solenoid will appear like a very tiny ring only, single ring only. And that single ring will appear to be having n number of turns. It is like a magnetic dipole. and that magnetic dipole has formula of field at the this is called as axis. This is equatorial plane. In equatorial plane, I think field will be minus km by
minus
R
km by r cube.
then it will become minus k into ni pi r square by r cube by r. R tends to infinity, then this tends to 0. So we understand that here field will be tending to 0. Is it right or not? If it is very large distance, then field will be tending to be negligible field that can be neglected. So the field which it is there, I'm not saying it is 0 exactly. It can, for example, if I say that what is the gravitational field at a very large distance, okay, we can say at a very large distance it is negligible, but will it be 0 anywhere? No, it will not be 0 anywhere. Same way, it is not 0 here, but it is becoming less. And if it is becoming less, then can we say that B dot dl in DC part will be 0? In DC part, B dot dl 0, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think if I'm placing this loop, this is symmetrically placed, this line AB, CD, rectangular loop, if it is placed symmetrically, then whatever is the line integral here, same kind of line integral here we will be getting, but we will be getting one positive and other negative. So those things will be cancelling each other or not?
Yes, sir. Cancel.
Those
Yes,
will be
sir.
cancelling each other.
Only
Okay.
due to AB.
Overall final
Also, B
end
dot
result,
L perpendicular.
and result is that there is no line integral in AB side, and there is no line sum of line integral along AD and along BC will be along AD and along BC it will be 0. In AC and in BD and in AD, I can take the field to be nearly at 90 degree also. Why? You know that this is a ring and the field lines are coming from here, and then this will be turning in this way. So if I take equatorial plane, at equatorial plane, the field line will be always opposite to the magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is this side. Field lines will be just 180 degree opposite to that. So this will become perpendicular to this line. That way also I can say that it is negligible from A to D and it is negligible from B to C. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
So means negligible. I'm saying you can say it is 0, exactly 0. But I'm okay. I'm taking care of that thing also. That effectively, if the ring is placed here and we are in this place, although we are not here, right? When we are very far away, then we are exactly there only. It is appearing like a. But I am considering that if there are slight angles formed here, very small angles, and one angle here and one angle here, if I place it symmetrically, then that way also it will be cancelled out. Anyway, these things are getting cancelled out. So finally, we know that line integral is only existing from A to B. Now another question I want to ask: from A to B, the field is same or different?
Same.
Uniform.
By symmetry, if it is a very long solenoid, then this point and this point will be nearly at the same location only for us, whether I choose this or this or this, because the angles subtended by these ends at this place, alpha and beta, those both will be pi by 2, whether I choose it here or here. This will be nearly pi by 2 because I have already taken this assumption R is very, very small as compared to L. Understood so far? This is very long solenoid. In very long solenoid, if I take point here or I take it here, means these points will be nearly equivalent only for me, because the angles subtended by both of these will be 90 degrees each, as R is nearly 90 degree. It may be 89.9 or something, but whatever it is nearly 90 degree. So these points are similar, A and B points. As long as these are much inside the solenoid, none of these points is very close to the edges. In that case, I am saying, is it right? Say something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
None of the point is towards the edges. Means you can think like this also. If I have a wire here, why do I call it as infinite wire? If it is a finite wire, can I still call it as infinite wire, or can I still apply the formula for finding magnetic field by taking it as infinite wire? Yes, as long as I'm very,
If we stay
as
very
long
near
as
to
the
the
angle by the ends are, what is this, sine? Let us say it is not sine 90, but it is coming out to be sine 89 degrees. But you know that sine 89 is also very much close to 1. Is it very much close to 1 or not? So means we are not committing any error if as long as this angle is formed is nearly that. And in order to form this angle, if I say R is of the order of millimeters and this distance is, let us say, 1 centimeter and this is 1 millimeter, then I think you can still guess that 1 centimeter upon 1 millimeter will be again so much high, large value, that this will be again, angle will be more than, even in fact 89 also, more than 89.9 also maybe. It will be much larger angles. So therefore, A and B are nearly same points having same field. Similarly, all other points between A and B will also be having same field. Let that field be B. So means analysis is deep, but once it is thoroughly analyzed, then it is so simple for you. If you have to solve it in the examination, then you don't have to go through all this pain. You have to just write it as this length is L. Which length? A to B length only, not the total. Okay, sorry, I have assumed total as L. So let us take it as X. this length is x, a to b, then I will simply write b into x is the line integral, because in other parts line integral is otherwise also 0, and that is equal to what? That is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. But what is the current enclosed to this surface which is bounded by this current? This cross, there are two turns passing through it. But is it necessary that there are two turns? In general, what we should say? In general, I can say that the number of turns passing per unit length is equal to total number of turns upon total length. Then dn will be equal to n upon L into dx. The number of turns I can write as n into x by L. Then I can say it is equal to mu naught into number of turns are n into x by L into current in one turn is I. Then the b is coming out to be x, and x is cancelled. What is b finally? B is coming out to be very simple result at last, mu naught into n into I by L. N into I by L. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
It is not that tough. It appears tough because of the explanation which I have given. Please don't. I can just do one thing also. I will, as the books are doing normally, they don't give the details. They will be just hiding everything, and they will be just writing simply, okay, this is outside. They will say it is 0, inside it is there something, and then they directly arrive at the result, which is equal to mu naught into I and I by L, and that is answer. That's it. I could also do that. So I want to explain everything, but now you don't think that it is tough. It is not tough at all. It is very simple, and the derivation is so simple that our derivation starts here and ends here. It starts here and it ends here. It is so simple. One step derivation. B is equal to mu naught into Ni by L. Is it understood or not?
Sir,
So
once again you explain how A to D and B to C, they will be cancel each other.
A to D 90 degree also. The field lines are returning back here. Think in this way also.
Sir, but when near to the solenoid, sir.
We are not even going near to the solenoid first of all. We are finding out, I told you clearly, we are always remaining not at the edges of the solenoid. We are remaining close to the middle. At the edges we can go, but up to what we can go? We can go only up to that far where the angle is still large. I can go up to this place also. But this angle still should be maybe more than 89 degrees, something like that. Then our
Sir, not there, sir. It is in the middle only, sir. AB is placed in the middle of solenoid.
It is not exactly in the middle. It is somewhere in the middle. It is as long as, oh my God, you are still not understanding. So now only I said, I am repeating it again. This point could be anywhere up to the edge also, but as long as this angle made by this point with this edges is still, this is a point here. Take this perpendicular line here. Make this angle here. If this angle is still more than 89 degrees something, then you are in the safe zone only. You can consider yourself to be inside only. Even if it is not inside, even if you have covered 99% of the length and you are just in 1% towards the end also.
Sir, I was not saying that, sir. Only. I understood this. I am saying when in line AD only, sir. Near to the surface, near to the cross.
Yes, in line AD what?
In line AD only, if you are near to the cross, then there will be somewhat stronger field there, no, sir.
If you are near to the cross?
Yes, sir.
Very close to the cross, you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Then those fields will be here also. Wait a second. Let me see. First of all, it is not due to single cross, and it will not be infinite field anywhere. It will be finite only everywhere. And it is not due to single cross here. It is due to all the crosses, means all the turns. It is not due to single turn. Even if I find field here also, it is not due to just this. It will be due to all these loops. These are not separate loops although, but if I approximate these like separate loops, then due to all these loops, it is here also. Yes, I know that this formula will not be valid here. Which formula? Km by R cube formula, because that we derived only for which case? We derived it for the case of when we are very large distance away from the magnetic dipole, not at a very close distance away from it. Obviously, it is not valid here. I agree with that. But even though it is not valid, even then also, I can still say that the direction of field will be remaining in which side? In this place also, due to all this. Direction will be still this side only.
Yes, sir.
Direction will not be changing. And if direction remains like that, then it will be still at nearly at 90 degrees only. And one more thing, the result which we are arriving at, this result is kind of, this way of arriving at the result is a approximate way of arriving at the result. Means we are arriving, okay, B here it is this, and otherwise also, B everywhere inside the solenoid is not exactly same. It varies from one end to the other end. It varies from one end to the other end, and it is continuously changing. But if you want to arrive at this result by elementary calculations, then we can overlook certain minor things in that, which obviously, because we are not like in 100% precise the way we are in mathematics, we are not that much precise. So we are approximating several things in physics, as we do always. Here also it is like approximation only. But with the approximations that we have, then also the result is very much correct enough, very much correct only. It is not that much wrong. It does not give us completely incorrect result only. So we are still getting the B to be correct, and that is equal to mu naught into n into I by L. That it is. Okay. Indirectly, if you have to just keep ideas in mind for the exam, then you just keep this idea in mind. B into x is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. B into x, that x and x cancels. B is equal to mu naught into n into I by L. What is n here? Now you should be understanding these things. If you are not remembering these, then again,
Total number of turns.
total number of turns. What is small n here? Small n is the number of turns within this loop.
Per unit length.
Within this loop. This in this x length. Small n is within the x length. dn by dx is per unit length. Small n is not per unit length. Small n is within the x length. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next we have toroid example of toroid. Toroid and this, and in fact there are three cases which are almost same. We don't have much difference in those three cases. Another case I can take, that is of current carrying sheet, which carries current into the plane. We have done this case before, but at that time sheet was infinite, and now it is infinite, going from minus infinity to plus infinity. It is a sheet which is lying in xz plane, and this carries current towards minus k cap throughout, uniformly spread, and the current per unit width of the sheet is given as k. Again, we can take the loop. If this is the loop, Amperian loop, A to B to C to D. First of all, what kind of direction of field you are expecting it must be having? If you apply logic properly, then you will be understanding that if I take this
From B to A.
this is like a wire here, and this is like a wire here. Due to this wire and due to this wire, due to these two wires, what will be the direction of field? Due to right side wire, the field will be this side. Due to this wire, the field will be this side. Right? If I take a circle around it, here like this, if I draw a circle around it, that will be the direction of that will be giving us exactly the field lines. Tangent to that will be giving us field line. Similarly, if I take a circle around the other wire, these are like two wires. I am taking two elements. Element of the plane, if I take one element of the plane, that element will be acting as a wire or not. I am taking two wires in this plane. Which plane? XZ plane. So these two wires are producing one field this side and one field that side. So are you noticing that y component of the field are getting cancelled? Finally, their field is only along x-axis. Is it understood?
Yes.
Similarly, I can take all such elements in pair, and always the field will be finally coming out to be totally along x-axis only, minus x-axis. If we are above this plane current carrying sheet, but if we are below this, then it will be along positive I cap, and here it will be along minus I cap. And it will be perpendicular to AD, perpendicular to BC. So contribution will be due to DC and contribution will be due to AB. And what will be the contribution? If I move from A to B, then DL will also be in that direction only, and the current field is also in that direction. Then it will be D into X. That is from which to which? A to B. What about from C to D also? Again, field changes its direction, but I am also traveling in the loop in same sense. If I am going from this A to B, then C to D, then
Plus B into X.
C to D is also same as B into X only, plus B into X again. Because magnetic field also reverses here, it is in backward direction only. And that total is equal to mu naught into current enclosed. But here current per unit length is given as K. So current per unit length is given as K. So current will become, inside current enclosed will become K into X. Then I am getting B is just equal to mu naught into K by 2. That is the magnetic field in this case due to current carrying sheet. This was example of current carrying sheet. How the current is? How is the current here? Current is along minus K cap.
Sir, once again explain the direction of field, sir.
Direction of field we can find out by taking two wires separately. One wire here, one wire here. Find out for this and find out for that, and then you can get the direction from there. taking two wires equidistant from here, equidistant wire from here and equidistant from here.
Yes,
Find
sir.
out the field in this point. Can you do that? We have done this question,
Yes,
I
sir.
think, while taking superposition. Can you do that? You cannot do that. That's why you are asking this thing.
Yes, sir.
It will take time. Okay, no problem. If you are not asking, then let me take more time only. I was thinking that I could take more questions rather than just devoting time on this only. But first thing is you should understand. If you're not understanding, definitely then no use. If I take one loop here like this here, and this is the center of that, and another one I take here, and let us take a current carrying sheet like this, which is carrying current into the plane, into the plane, into the plane, into the plane. This every cross is acting like a small wire, we can think. So there is one red wire here and red wire here. What is this? This is, means you understand. I hope you understand this, or you are not understanding this again. This is the sheet. In this sheet, I am taking one element here and one element here. So these are wire current carrying wires like elements. And I want to find out the field in which place. Wait a second. Now I did one mistake of keeping these away from each other. I should keep here maybe, and so that the cross, this cross also will shift here. Where I want to find out the field, I want to find out field here or maybe here. So if you use the right hand thumb rule due to this cross wire, then the field will be in which direction? This side. And due to this cross wire, the field will be, take right hand thumb rule. Put your fingers in the direction of magnetic field and the thumb in the direction of current. Cross, not this side, sorry, opposite of that, I think. Not this side. If I take right hand, then it will be coming out opposite of that. Even if I take opposite, then also it is not that tough task to do. It is this side and this side tangent. Not this side, again I'm doing it wrong. Not this side. Tangent for this circle, the tangent will be this side. Then you notice that y components are getting cancelled. What we are left with? We are left with only x component. Similarly, if I take point here, then it will be this side and this side. Then resultant will be this side. So resultant will be parallel to the sheet, not perpendicular to the sheet. Resultant will be just parallel to the sheet. Okay. Say something.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You are not saying with confidence also, yes, you have not understood him. What is not understood? Ask it then.
Yes, sir.
But I have chosen just 2 points. I cannot do that. I can take here one more and one more here and one more here and one more here. And by choosing several such elements, again, the direction will finally remain same only. So overall above it, the field is along I cap, and the below it, the field is along minus I cap. Now onwards, if I have to determine the field, then I will just do it directly like this. I will take one circle only, and on one circle only, I will find out the field upside this here. The field will be left right side, and here field will be left side. And by that only, I will get the direction of the entire sheet also, just by taking one little wire at the center. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what are the circles? Charged.
These are magnetic field lines. My God, what is this boy doing? What are these circles? And what are we even talking about so far?
You told charged body or something. You told me.
I never even use the word charge. Entire discussion is over, Chandan, and suddenly you are asking what are these circles really? What are these circles? What it could be meaning? Let us say somebody does not have signal also at house. I don't know. Then also you should understand what is this here. This is we are discussing the currents. These are current carrying. One wire I have taken here, and around this wire, if I take one circle, then field will be in this direction only or not. Right hand thumb rule I am using for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the problem then? What are these circles really? What these circles would be? You tell me. What else these would be? What else is coming to your mind? What else would it be? These are circles depicting the magnetic field lines due to one wire only at a time. But when those two are superimposed with each other, then here field is coming finally in this direction. Due to this wire, left-hand side wire, and the right-hand side wire. Due to one wire, due to left-hand side wire, the field was here, B left-hand side, due to left-hand side, due to right-hand side wire. But overall resultant of this is in this direction finally. At which point, now if you are asking such things also, somehow I think that also you will not understand. Then you will not understand what is this. Then you will say, what is this line here and what are these crosses here? And why after so long time, this circle was drawn 10 minutes back. After 10 minutes of explanation, suddenly you are saying that what are these circles? When I have drawn it, at that time you ask it if you are not understanding what are these circles really. When the entire discussion is over, suddenly you are asking what are these circles? Chandan.
Sir, once previous page.
Chandan.
Sir,
Say something.
yes, sir, understood, sir. I thought charge spheres you said, and
What
I thought charge
Did I
spheres.
say charge really? By mistake, if I said I don't know, but I never use word charge, it seems.
That
Did I say
told
charge?
charge.
I did not talk about any charge here. What are you even saying really? I don't understand. I think now I got what is this boy's problem. Was I discussing this thing here? At that time, I may have said that if I take a charged wire and then I say that this point is close or away, at that time I may have said, I don't know. Although there also I was taking current carrying wire only. But charge I never said. I don't know what you was even saying charge. Where are you getting this charge from in your mind? Somebody asked me this question that why the field is in this direction. So I wanted to elaborate on that. So definitely we were discussing the field lines only, and I discussed it that why the field line is in that particular direction. Really, I don't know what you are doing. In this way, you will not even let me even move 1 inch also forward. And I don't know whether I discussed it here or not, but here also I think I said that by these two I can take one here. But at that time I think you were not understanding because you were not understanding the circles properly. Then I went again there. Again I am explaining all those things, and again you are asking what are those circles really. And that too, after 10 minutes of discussion, you are asking what are those circles. When I have drawn the circle and I started explaining, why did you not ask it at that time only?
Sir, clear.
Then, okay, I'm getting that feeling that you are not understanding anything. So what is the point really, what I'm teaching here?
Understanding.
Next we have now toroid, let us say. What is toroid? First of all, toroid, yesterday also I told you it is donut type shape, but in that donut type shape we will be taking a such kind of shape it has.
Torus.
Or how to draw that? I think something like this we draw. This is how it looks like. I don't know if you are understanding it or not. This is a tube closed. Let us say we have a pipe here, rubber tube, and that tube these two ends of the tube we are connecting with each other. So we are turning it into a circle. Right? Or your vada, that only it is, nothing else, right?
Vada.
So in that, just one addition we are making it at now. We are winding a coil around it. We are taking a current carrying coil around it. So that coil is Means you can think that the spring is now turned into a circular shape. Current is coming from one side and then it is leaving at the other side. This is called as toroid. Okay, this is a diagram for it, but we will not draw this kind of diagram. We will simply make effectively it will be simplified diagram will be something like this. We can simply take two circles, one circle here, one bigger circle, we are taking two circles, and then now symbolic diagram will be this, that let us say the current starts entering from here. It enters here and then here it will be going inside, then it will be coming out from outside, cross, dot, cross, dot. Going here and then here, coming out at last. This is it. Now, within this, there will be field lines. How the field lines will be now? The field lines will be
Anti-clockwise direction.
Is it right direction? I think it is right only. That only?
Sir, clockwise.
Clockwise only, I think so, right? Clockwise only. Why are you saying anti-clockwise? Clockwise only. The field lines will be clockwise. And how to find out that field lines now? Those. Again, I can take some. I can take in this case. I can take the complete. I can take the complete loop along the field line only. This is the field line. This blue loop is representing the field line. And in this, these are the field lines. So magnetic, if I take the loop also, Amperian loop, the loop which I have to take to integrate, that loop also I will prefer to take along this line only, then it will be easy to integrate. Then what answer will it give us? It will directly give us B into 2 pi r, left hand side, and right hand side is mu naught into total current enclosed is n number of turns into I. Then what will be value of B? B is equal to mu naught into Ni by 2 pi r. Again, getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me what is not understood. If somebody is not understanding anything now. B and DL are, DL means that loop, Amperian loop is also taken, I have taken in this direction only. I'm taking DL elements like this. And then I'm integrating along this, along the length of this loop. Then I will be getting just B into 2 pi r into cos 0. So just B into 2 pi r only. Is it not same as the last formula? Mu naught into n by L.
Same.
Exactly same. Mu naught into n by L. Ni by L. But L is here 2 pi r. But still I will prefer to write it as mu naught into Ni by 2 pi r only. That one we sometimes write like this also. and that is preferred usually. I will prefer to write it as mu naught into small. Wait, see, I have chosen small n for some other thing. It's my bad. I should not have done that.
Lambda.
Small n normally they call as number of turns per unit length. Let me correct it now only here only. This I will just change this symbol. You also do that. You just write it as maybe n dash n dash n dash. These are n dash, and this n by l I will represent as small n into x. Small n I will call as number of turns per unit length. N dash is the number of turns within the x length, but n small n is number of turns per unit length. So finally, I will be getting in terms of that small n as mu naught into small n into I. We can write this way simply. Okay. That is how usually it is written in the books. You can remember mu naught into n into I by l also. That is also same thing. Small n is number of turns per unit length. This is same thing, but I should write it as not mu naught into small n I, although you can say it is also number of turns per unit length. But the only reason why I should not do that, if we do not that, it will be wrong, but you may have chances of forgetting that small n is not a constant quantity here, but it is a variable quantity here. It depends on R. Then if you write this way, although it is also right number of turns per unit length, we can say same thing only. But it will make a difference in our perception. We will start, sometimes we may end up feeling that this small n is a constant quantity. So therefore, I will prefer to write it as mu naught into capital N into I upon 2 pi r. That is how also it is written in the books as well. So we will remember this for the toroid. And from here, I can find out. There is one interesting question here. Can you find out what is the field at the center of this? What is the field outside the solenoid? Normally they say field outside the solenoid is 0. But I should say that that is not exactly right answer. That is only when we are little large distance from the
Very
solenoid.
far.
Not very much large also. If we are little large distance, okay, I can say it is varying as inversely proportional to R cube, and R, because it is varying inversely proportional to R cube, it will be decreasing rapidly, and it can become very less over a little larger distance. But still, I will say that is not exact right answer. That okay, just outside only field is 0, not like that. It will be something. And here as well, in this place also, at the center, the field exists because of this reason. That effectively, can I say, if I take a cross section here, any one cross section if I take, then is the current crossing through this cross section or not? There will be current I flowing through this cross section. Then I can say that overall in this toroid, some current is going this side also, even if it is going by taking several number of turns, but on an average, the current is going this side also. So I can take like a current carrying loop, and I can find out the field at the center. That will come out to be mu naught into total I, which is flowing through it, not n I have to take here. It is just one single term. I by, if you remember the formula for this, if its radius is whatever radius is given, maybe A or R, A radius, let us say A, then upon 2A. That will be the field at the center. Let us call it BO. Mu naught I by 2A. This field is negligible as compared to the field inside the toroid. So sometimes we don't consider the field outside the toroid. Outside the toroid, we assume the field to be 0, but it is not 0. Obviously, it is not 0 even at the center, and it will not be 0 in other places also. But yes, it becomes small. It becomes very small. Inside the toroid, it is capital N times that, and n is very large number. Not capital N times. It is n by pi times. But capital N can be very large number. Not n by pi also, there is R and here it is A, but I mean to say approximately, and if I assume A and R are to be nearly equal, and that we can do because usually in toroid also, if I can make that assumption, if this radius is small, this radius of cross section of the toroid is small, then I can make that assumption. Anyway, next. Say it again, not understood anything. Next we have what else do we have now?
Force acting on carbon. Right.
Parallel wires. Force will be acting in between these wires, carrying current I1 and I2. I have to find field due to the one wire on the other wire. Let us say it is cross field here due to this wire, and that B is into the plane, and it is, let us say, a distance between these. Then the field will be equal to mu naught I by 2 pi k. That is the field. Field into this I1, due to I1 the field is this. This will be multiplied with I2. B into I2 into distance of the length of the wire. Let us say the length of the wire is L into L. Force per unit length, if I take, then force divided by length will be just this only. It will be mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi a. That is force per unit length between two wires. Okay. We can ask a
They
question.
will attract each other, no?
What?
They will attract each other, no, sir, in same direction.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Is it attractive or repulsive? Yes, these are current as the currents are in same direction. When the current will be like direction currents, it is not like charges repel, not like that. Opposite of that, they will be attracting each other. How do I know? I L cross B formula. I can think formula is I2 L cross B. B is along minus K cap, and L is along plus J cap. J cross minus K is equal to minus I. So yes, force acting on this will be along minus I cap. Similarly, force acting on another will be along plus I cap. Right? Then I can find out the force between wire and a sheet. Okay, first of all, let me chart down the cases which I will be finding out. Force I will find out between wire and a sheet, number 1. Number 2 case I will find out between perpendicular wires. Number 3 between a wire and a square. Number 4 between a square means current carrying loop. Between a wire and a rectangle. Triangle, sorry, wire and a triangle, wire and a rectangle, wire and two perpendicular wires, wire and a sheet, current carrying sheet, carrying current in certain direction. All these cases I have to take. I have already taken, I think, electrostatic pressure case last time, if you remember it. Remember the formula for electrostatic pressure? Magnetostatic pressure.
Of B square by
mu square by mu naught square by
B
B.
square by mu naught. That is it. So one by one we can take. I think easiest of these is, for me, this also is easy, very easy, because we know due to infinite sheet the magnetic field is just mu naught K by 2, and the direction also we know for this what will be the direction. Once I know these things, then this field will become uniform field, and when a wire is placed in uniform external field, then it is much easier to find out the force on the wire. First case is very simple. We can do it easily. Once I know what is the length on which I want to find out the force, I want to find out force on this L length due to current which is going in which direction. Let us say current is going in which direction you want the current to be. Maybe this side.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it is K current, and this is width B. Although the current is it is due to infinite sheet, so it is minus infinity to plus infinity both sides. But I am taking one part of that, and I am studying the part B of that. Then to this, the formula of magnetic field will be mu naught into K by 2, and that into the current here I2. Let us say that is I2 into L. That is the value of force. Is it understood? First part. Ask no.
Yes, sir.
U naught into K by 2 the field into, and the direction also we have to be careful. I think you know that direction will be
Towards
along the width, perpendicular to the length with the width which is there. Along the width direction will be. In which side I don't know. I don't need to take care of that also. But I know that these are carrying currents in same side, so it will be attractive force only. If carrying current in same side, then the force is attractive. Attractive means it will be pulled downwards. Direction also we can tell. Mu naught into K by 2 into I into
L.
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 L length. Yes, right, L length. What about for these cases? Take from minus infinity to minus infinity. Current is I1. This is I2, and this is finite length. What is the force acting on this finite length of L length and placed perpendicularly to the infinite wire? Can you get it?
0, sir.
You not I into Ln. Sir, this between length also we should know.
Yes, I should know, tell you. Sorry. I should tell you that this closer distance is at a distance A and the farther distance is at a distance A plus L.
Ln B by A. You not I into Ln B by A by 2 pi.
Right, only B means A plus L is B, right?
Yes, sir. B A plus.
What about the last one, fourth one? Toughest of all.
So superposition we have to do, sir.
First we have to find force on one, then on second, and then on third. That way we have to find out each separately.
Yes, sir.
Can we find out, or is it tough? Let us think about that also. Let us try at least one case, and after that we will understand. Means ultimately we are finding for which case? There's an infinite wire and there's an oblique wire. If we are able to find for oblique wire, then we can find for the triangle also. This is making an angle theta with this side, and it is 90 degrees to this, and it is I1 and it is I2. Find now for this case. We have to take an element at a distance r. DL element. This DL element I can write as dx I cap plus dy j cap. Then I think formula is mu naught into I1. What is the formula? First of all, IL cross B I can apply directly. IL cross B. I2 into DL along this side cross B. B due to 1. B due to I1 is B due to I1. B due to I1 at a distance x. Let us call it as x because I am taking dx now. So B1 will come out to be mu naught into I1 by 2 pi x. I2 into DL. Dx I cap plus dy j cap cross B1 along which direction?
Minus theta.
Minus
I.
k cap, right? Then it will become I2 into B1 into I cross k. K cross I is j. Where's the length going? Length is also there. No, length is not taken care of. I2 and B1 can be taken common, it seems. What we get next?
We can obtain relation between x and y.
What?
We can obtain relation between x and y.
Yes, I think you're right. We can obtain the relation by taking this
Y
as
by x equal to
Let's
tan
say this
theta,
is
sir.
A and this is a. You're right only. We can do this way. So what is it? It is x minus a. Yes, right. Y we can write as x minus a into tan theta. Then we can get dy also. Dy will come out to be dx into tan theta. Yes, let us do that. Then it is okay. Otherwise, we will not be able to integrate here. This is must. What is dy? Dx tan theta. Then I can write now dx tan theta into d1 already taken out. But what is the sign? Sign. Wait a second. This is going on. I think minus I cap. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
Right only. Then can we integrate it now? I think not tough to integrate because we know b1. We know b1 here, and it is easy to integrate. It is inversely proportional to x. Other terms are just constants, inversely proportional to x. 1 by x dx. Some log term will come to this also. So we are getting it finally. There is a shortcut way to obtain it. Not that much shortcut, but somewhat. Means if you just remember the formula for perpendicular, then for oblique I can obtain from that perpendicular one only. How? This way. See, let me tell you next page. Let us say you don't remember the formula for this oblique wire, but you remember only for the mutually perpendicular wires, and you remember the formula for the parallel wires. Then by these also I think we can obtain somehow. Let me check once. Can I logically follow or not? A, B, C, this side, and we can tell it. How? I know one thing here, that on AC wire there will be two forces. One force on AC wire will be along. In this case it is repulsive. Why? Because this is upward and this is going downward. So the closer end is, means you know that the parallel current carrying wires, when carry current in same direction, then it is attractive force. When they carry current in opposite direction, then it is repulsive. So here C to A is opposite side, so it will be repulsive. So the force along X will be in this direction, and force along Y will be in which direction? Let me reverse the direction I am getting. Diagram will become bad, otherwise all vectors are coming into the plane, into it. This vector should come out of it. Now I will take vectors in such a way so that these are coming out of it. Yes. One force will be upwards on this, and on this the force will be downwards. These two forces will be equal. This force is repulsive and this force is attractive. Which is more? Repulsive will be less and attractive will be more. Reason is these elements are closer to it. Closer, stronger field. Stronger field, closer means the stronger field. Stronger field means overall attractive force. So let us say it is F something on it, F1, then this is also F1. This is, let us say, Fy, then this is also same Fi. So on this I know what is the force on this. Same will be acting on this in vertical direction. But I think I am not able to obtain the horizontal force on this. That I have to integrate only. Horizontal I am not able to obtain from this way. No, I can obtain horizontal also. See how to obtain horizontal. I know one more thing in this wire. Let us name the wire A, B, C. If I take from A to C, then I know that magnetic field is into the plane and dl is this side. So I dl cross B. I dl cross B will give me the direction of force, which will be in this direction. So net force is in this direction. If net force is in this direction, due to on every element, the forces are this way and this way, and net force is in this direction only, then can I get some relation from here? I think yes. I can say.
Well, we cannot take components of length of wires, sir. We can take, sir.
We can take the components of the length of wire, right?
Means L cos theta, L sin theta length and along.
No, that wait, don't do directly like that. How are you doing that?
No, I'm asking, sir.
We cannot do that. If you do that, how will you take the component here? Or will you take here? And will it give us same result? These two ways. These will give us different results. We cannot do that, obviously.
Okay, sir. Yes.
We cannot take the components of the length. That we can't do. But okay, anyway, this thing we can do here. Vertical forces will be equal. Vertical force, at least I can get on the oblique wire also instantaneously. Vertical forces will definitely be equal. Whatever is for this perpendicular wire, same will be vertical force on the other. Vertical means parallel to this wire, the force will be same on this as well as on this. Those will be same. Or we can say this thing another way. If I tell you simply, remember that the net force on any closed loop, whatever the shape of closed loop may be, net force on the closed loop will either be purely attractive or purely repulsive, but it cannot be any tangential, any force parallel to the current carrying wire here. The effective force on the loop will be either towards the wire or away from the wire, but not parallel to the wire. That is what you keep in mind always. Okay. Why? So we can prove it. We have proved it in fact last time. We proved it already. See, what is the force that you integrate it once. Once you integrate it, you will understand that I into B1 into dx integral, if I do the first term, notice this first term will be same even if I take a wire just in horizontal direction only. Will it be same or not?
Yes, sir.
The first term will be exactly same even if I take wire perpendicular to it. So therefore, this component along y-axis will be independent of the length, whatever the length may be, whatever shape of length may be from A to B. If somebody is asking me perpendicular force, then that I can still find out, and that will be same as on the wire which is perpendicularly placed to it. That force will be acting. I should not call it perpendicular force. I should call it parallel force, parallel to the wire. This is one wire, and here some random is not a properly well defined shape is here. It's some irregular shape, and in that irregular shape also I can say that effectively the force acting in parallel direction will be obtainable by just taking the projection of the length here. That I can do. But I cannot obtain the horizontal force by taking the projection of the length. Remember this thing. I can get the parallel force. I can get the force parallel to the current carrying wire by taking the projection. In which way I have to take the projection? I have to take projection perpendicular to the wire. In the radial direction I have to take. Then automatically I will be getting this force from there itself. But if somebody wants to get parallel force, perpendicular to the wire force, that perpendicular to the wire force will not be obtainable by this method, by projection method. Okay. I don't know I made it clear or not. Is it clear to you? Not clear at all. My God, always you are silent. Only what is happening to you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear, sir.
Clear, right?
Clear.
Next we have, so okay, so one term is done. This term is same. This term is independent of the shape of the wire. This term always will be same only. But the second term will depend on the shape of the wire. This will depend on that. What is the second term coming out to be? Let us check it once. That is coming out to be finally I2 into mu naught into I1 upon 2 pi into
Depends on theta, sir.
into dx upon x and into tan theta integral. In our present circumstance, I can take tan theta outside. For the present scenario, when the straight line wire is there, then that again will not depend on the length of the wire. Then, then also it depends on theta. No, it depends on theta. Means overall it depends on the slope, and the slope is different. And if it is different in different places, then definitely we should know the entire function of the curve, and entire curve equation we should know. Otherwise, we will not be able to integrate this one, because I have to integrate it if I know how the slope is varying. If somebody has given me slope, how slope varies as it is at a distance x, how tan theta varies with x, then I can integrate it. Otherwise, I will not be able to integrate. So the second term depends on the shape, but the first term is independent of the shape. First term depends only on the radial distance. It does not depend on any other thing, just the radial distance only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next we have, do you want to write this completely? Means let us end it here. Why should we leave it? Let us say we are going from A to B. If we are going from A to B, then I have to take the limits of x equal to A to x equal to B. Then what do we get in this and what do we get in the next case? Then we get, I think, in the first case we get dx by x, that is log of b by a term, log of b by a term along j cap. And what we get next time? Next time we got again log of b by a term along minus I cap.
Minus it.
So again log of b by a term along minus I cap. But this term is also multiplied by tan theta this time. And this whole term is multiplied by some outside, what is coming outside? I2, I1, mu naught, I1, I2 upon mu naught, I1, I2 divided by 2 pi. That only? That only, I think. Yes, that only, because x is already integrated here, by which we are getting log term. So we are getting mu naught I1 upon 2 pi, I1, I2 upon 2 pi. This is what we are getting. So right now I should say that we can remember for oblique line also we can get answer easily if I remember which formula for the perpendicular one, because just in that I have to multiply by tan theta and we get answer for the oblique wire also. Right or not? So therefore I think it can be sometimes helpful if you remember for perpendicular wires what is the force between them. One interesting thing is here, if I don't discuss that then it is useless. That discussion is still not complete. Here it is something interesting going on here. I don't know you notice or not. These two mutually perpendicular wires, how these are applying force on each other. This is applying this side and it is applying this side. On that part of the wire which is lying along positive x-axis and positive y-axis, these are the forces. And on those parts of the wire which are lying along negative x-axis, on those parts the force will be this side and this side. Does the action-reaction pair applies here? Are these having action-reaction pairs, F1, F2? This line segment here, this line segment is applying force F1 on this. But on this line segment, force is F2 on this in upward direction. Magnitude-wise, these may be equal, but direction is completely different. So Newton's third law, does it fail or not? Newton's third law is not valid here. That fails. That is not valid in this case. So don't expect that there will be action-reaction pairs. Some students will commit this mistake, otherwise they will think like this, that the force acting on this perpendicular wire was in this direction, then the force acting on this will be in opposite to that direction, but it is completely wrong. No, not like that. Okay, you want to check it, you can check it, you can verify also. I will give you a very simple way to tell, although how, in which direction the force acting, very, very simple way. In NCERT also it is mentioned, the force acts from high magnetic field region to low magnetic field region. How the force acts? From high magnetic field to low magnetic field region. You want to take examples for this now? See one example here. Two wires parallel to each other. If I look from the top view, then what this wire will look like? Coming towards me. How the magnetic field lines will be? Magnetic field lines will be inside the magnetic field lines due to the wire here will be, I think, what kind of loops? Clockwise, anti-clockwise? How will be the magnetic field lines? Clockwise, anti-clockwise?
Anti-clockwise.
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 Magnetic field lines are anti-clockwise here. and this also anti-clockwise. Then we notice here the magnetic field line goes up and here magnetic field line comes down. So are these cancelling each other or not? Inside means not
Right.
necessarily these are equal. These may be unequal also. I'm not saying that I'm taking exactly midpoint, and I'm also not saying that I'm taking the currents to be equal. Currents may be unequal, I1, I2. These may not be cancelling, but these are diminishing each other. These are decreasing each other's strength, right or not? These are not supporting each other.
Yes, sir.
These are decreasing.
Yes, sir.
So overall, the field gets reduced inside. The field gets reduced inside as compared to field outside. The field inside gets reduced, and as a result, as I told you, always the force acts from which to which side? High magnetic
High
field
to
to.
low.
So how the force should be acting then? In between these, the field gets reduced. B gets reduced here, and outside the B gets somewhat increased comparatively. Comparatively compared to what? Compared to when there was no other wire present, when only one wire is here. As compared to other wire, in the presence of as compared to absence of other wire, as compared to absence of other wire, this field in the presence of other wire will be now reducing, and this side the field will be increasing, this side field will be increasing. As a result, force acting on it will be from high magnetic field to low magnetic field station. Always like that only, from high magnetic field to low magnetic field station. Always you can just do by that way only. Another example, if I take wires anti-parallel to each other, then the force will no more be attractive. It will become
Repulsive.
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 Because for this case, if this is dot side, this is cross side, then due to dot side, the field lines will be, due to current going outside, the field lines will be in which way? Anti-clockwise.
Upward.
But due to cross, the field lines will be in which way?
Clockwise.
Clock.
This line will be
Add to each other.
clockwise. Then these will add up. If these are adding up in the middle, in between these two, these are adding up, then in between the field is becoming stronger. So that strong field will try to repel these away from each other. That is what happens in such cases. Now I can ask you this question for another scenario. Let us say we have a current carrying wire. And in this current carrying wire, it is placed in external magnetic field, which is pointing upwards. External magnetic field is pointing upwards. What kind of force will be acting on it now? Inside, its own field is in which direction? Its own field is also upwards, and the external magnetic field is also upwards. So inside, the field gets added up. But outside, external field is everywhere same. External field is everywhere upwards only, but outside, due to itself, due to this current carrying wire, its own field outside will be going down, but external field is going up. So these are diminishing each other. So outside field becomes weak, inside field becomes stronger. As a result, when this current carrying loop is placed in external field, which is pointing in upward direction, there will be force acting on this in radially outward direction, from stronger magnetic field to weaker magnetic field side. We have done this before in last week only. If you remember, such question was there in SC Verma. Some field was given and this thing was placed in that, and we were finding out the field. That was radial field, radial force. But how to tell what direction the radial force will be? Radial force could be inside and it could be radial force outside. In such cases, the radial force will be outside. If I reverse the direction of external field, if external field I made to go downwards, then the force acting on these each elements will be now not radially outwards, but it will be radially inwards. Is it understood or not, this thing? Stronger field. First of all, somebody will think, why is this stronger inside? If you don't, you will not follow the logic if you don't understand everything properly, precisely. That due to the current carrying loop, inside the field will be in which direction the field will be inside, due to the current carrying loop, which is sending current in the direction shown. Inside it will be coming up or not?
If
Yes, sir.
And outside it will be going cross.
Yes, sir.
Field lines coming from here and going this way. Field lines coming from here, going this way. Coming, and these are the field lines. And external field, let us say, everywhere is upwards only. External field is upwards only. Everywhere same, upwards. If it is upwards now, inside we are noticing that it is being added up, but outside it is being subtracted. Then as a result, the force will be acting from inside to outside. Understood? Right. Other examples I can take of a total cylinder. in this cylinder, out in the current carrying cylinder which is carrying current in this way, what is the field inside? 0. And what is the field outside? Some finite field. Inside it is 0, outside it is finite field. Then what force it will feel? The cylinder will feel what kind of force? From stronger field to weaker field. Then it will be feeling the force of radially compressive force from all sides, radially inwards. It will be feeling a force which is acting radially inwards on it, which is trying to push this cylinder into inside. We can think of this reason of inward force. We can think in another way also. Directly we are able to understand, that is fine, but we can think in another way. I can think that there are several tiny wires on this, and each wire is carrying current in the same direction. So the force acting between those two wires will be attractive. But when we take all the wires on this cylindrical container, then all those wires will be pulling each other inwards towards the center only. Right or not? Attractive force. Okay. Have you understood the second way also?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next we have what other examples I can take? Let me think. I think we can go to moving coil galvanometer, but not today. I don't want to go today. Tomorrow I will take moving coil galvanometer. MCG I am leaving for tomorrow. Although there is nothing much in that, I can cover today also, but let us wait for one more day. Yesterday I discussed this thing or not? I was discussing, I don't know I finished it or not. If there is a sphere in which the current goes and then it spreads from North Pole to the South Pole, then what is field inside this sphere?
Completed, sir. You discussed.
Completely already. You
Yes,
were
sir.
able to determine the field inside or not?
We were able to.
Right.
Net minus due to wire.
Net minus rod.
Right, we can do it. One question is still there, I think, which I have not taken, of line integral only. There are two interesting questions of line integral which are coming to my mind. One is, if I have this closed ring, I have a ring here, and along the axis of ring, I want to take the line integral from minus infinity to plus infinity. What is the value of line integral if I take along the axis of the ring from minus infinity to plus infinity? Line integral of magnetic field. Sorry, I should have mentioned line integral of magnetic field from minus infinity to plus infinity. X varies from minus infinity to x plus infinity. This is carrying current I, this current carrying. Do you know the formula for the field due to current carrying loop? You remember or not?
Axial.
My God, what is happening? You are completely silent only. Do you remember this formula of field due to the current carrying loop? If you don't remember that, you are now only you are forgetting. How will you? This will appear in this week's examination.
X cube.
What?
2 km bar by x cube.
2 km.
By
Which
x
R?
cube. By x cube.
No, not x cube. You are saying wrong only. By r cube. It is not x cube. It is nearly equal to x when the distance becomes large. Otherwise, actual formula is 2 km by r cube, not x cube. I think so. I remember I have derived it. It was this only. 2 km by r cube. Was it that or not? Last week we derived it.
Yes, sir. That only.
So that only. So this formula we know, and formula for magnetic moment also, you know, if it is radius r, let us say, given to us, then I into pi r square. Then use it here and integrate it and get the answer. Can you do that? Do it once. Please do it once. After that, I will change the question and I will ask some other question in this. You have to find for all these cases, case 1, case 2, case 3. Equations I am giving for the curves. For 1, this is just a straight line, you know it is lying along x-axis. For second case, it is parabola. For third case, it's cube. At least I'm waiting for some time because I'm expecting that you will at least get the answer for the first case. I'm not expecting you to get the answer for these other. At least for the first case, you should be getting the answer by integrating, because integration is simple. Formula also I have given you, not much tough task. And if you apply symmetry, then you can do this way also. Take 0 to infinity only and multiply by 2. Understood or not? 0 to infinity, it will be same as minus infinity to 0. So you can take just 0 to infinity and you can multiply that thing by 2. We can get that way.
Sir, 4km by r cube, sir. First question.
First question, what we are getting?
4km by capital R cube, radius of that ring.
4k means mu naught upon 4 pi into capital M.
Yes, sir.
I into pi r square upon
R cube.
R cube.
Yes, I got that, sir.
Dimensions are wrong. For mu naught I into r square upon r cube, you are getting mu naught into I by r. Dimensionality is incorrect because its answer I expect in terms of mu naught into I.
Oh, okay, sir.
Some mistake in dimension, just correct that mistake somewhere.
Yes, sir. By r square, sir. That's all.
Now it is correct at last.
Yes.
Chandraharsha?
Yes, sir.
Right, Chandraharsha. Finally, you got it. So it is mu naught into I only. It is mu naught into I only. Now, Chandraharsha, you do the second question and the third one. Number 1 done by you, that is correct. Number 2, number 3 you do. And I have to frame one more question in this, in the next page. Diagram okay, you just see the diagrams and it is simple only. Equations are given. and the diagram is given, radius, everything is known to you, current is given, and then you can do it. I'm moving on to the next page for making another diagram.
Four K M bar by R square.
For second case or for
First case.
First case answer should be mu naught into I. Chandra Harsha obtained already. Just solve it further. Are we getting mu naught into I or not? Solve it further. M was not given to you, so answer should not be in terms of M. Answer should be in terms of I.
Yes, sir. Mu naught into I.
Then do the remaining questions. And here one more question. Wait a second. What is happening here really? This angle and this angle is given to you here. What angle you want me to give so that you can integrate it easily? Maybe take 37 degrees to, sorry, 53 to 37. 53 degrees to 37 degrees. Its radius is R and its radius is R by 10 is enough, I think so, or 100 if I want to make it very small. And where it is kept at the midpoint of this. It is A, it is B, and it is at the midpoint. Now do this one. What we have to find again? Same thing. B dot dl. This again, all red colors are the current carrying wires, let us say, for this particular, in this particular, I'm taking all the, in this question, I'm taking all the wires to be of red color, current carrying wires. And the path lengths in which we want to take the line integral, that I'm taking of different color, yellow color. Fine for this case also last case. Chandraharsha, did
Sir.
you get for the second case?
Not getting, sir.
Mu naught into I. For the third case, mu naught into I. Now give me the reason at least.
Ampere's law. Ampere's law.
See, if it is going there, let us say, wait a second. Let me arrive at the result. I think yesterday I told you that the magnetic field, when we are very, very far away, it will be inversely proportional to R cube, of the order of inversely proportional to R cube, right? Due to this, it is I into pi R square. Wait a second. Due to current carrying loop, it will be like this: I into pi R square upon what it will be, R cube, something. Mu naught upon 4. Okay, I don't have to worry about all these matters. I have to just think that it is inversely proportional to R cube. That is enough for me. That is good enough. So Ki by R cube. And from here, I want to take the line integral into dr. dl I can take as r into d theta. At infinity, I am taking. Up to infinity is one thing, but I want to take from infinity, from one side to the infinity on the other side. So if I do that, then I will be getting it as what I will be getting it as. I think wait a second, here I am confused a little bit. Is it right question also? I have framed something wrong here. Let me check once. Q into I upon R square, R cube into R into d theta, right? Now if I do one thing here, if I take I think right only. Right only. I think I have asked you once parabola question before also. You remember flux passing through the parabola? At that time I told you that the parabola, when we look from very large, then the angle between this asymptote and this asymptote just comes out to be nearly very negligible, zero angle only, right? If I take tangent at the parabola at infinity this side and the other side, then it will be nearly parallel only, and those will be parallel to the line of symmetry of the parabola. That will become nearly parallel to this, right? If that happens, then I have to now understand one thing, that if I have to move from one, let us say now we are looking from very, very large distance away. And from very, very large distance away, this parabola will appear like a straight line almost, like this only. And here to here, if I take small angle d theta, then in that the line integral, otherwise also b is negligible, and that line integral will be negligible only. It means this parabola almost acts like a closed loop. I have told you before also that if something is enclosed in it, then for that the parabola is acting almost like a closed loop. And if it is acting like a closed loop, then what is the value of the total? Now it is like complete closed loop only. And if it is a complete closed loop, then for complete closed loop, what should be the value of line integral? That should be equal to
mu naught I.
Mu naught I. Therefore, it is mu naught I for this case. But now I have to look for the third case. Third case is somewhat different. It does not even appear like a closed loop also, because it is going from minus infinity to plus infinity. You understand it? From minus infinity to plus infinity is going, so it is not a closed loop. And if can I take a tangent to this also at infinity? I think I can take once. How to take? What is the formula for this? Y is equal to k x cube. First take dy by dx. If I take dy by dx, I get it as k into 3 into x square. Then if I put limit x tends to infinity, then what is it coming out to be? Infinite. What does it mean? Infinite means it will be almost parallel to y-axis at that place, and other side also it will be almost parallel to y-axis. Is it right or not? Right or not? It will be almost parallel to y-axis finally. Means it will be becoming almost like this here, in this way. As if the distances are very, very large. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. So once it is almost parallel to the y-axis, then I now want to find out. I want to take integral from that place to this place to this place. I want to take the integral from here to here. If I do that at a very, very large distance away, if I am taking, and then from here I am taking the integral, I can take this way, or I can take this way also. I can take whatever way I choose. Let us say this, I'm already reaching here, and this is r, very large distance r. I think I can take k m by r cube into r into d theta, which will be equal to k into m by r square into k into m by r square into d theta. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
Then if I take d theta, if I integrate it from here to here, if I do that, then what do we get? Now this thing also varies. It is not always same. We know it varies from km by r square to 2km by r square. I know that. But otherwise also we are trying to guess what it could be, what this result it will give us. So we know that this d theta and total angle turned from here to here also, if I go, then this angle turned is finite. And this term is infinitesimal. Infinitesimal means negligible because it is 1 upon r square term here. And this angle turned is finite only. So do you think what it will give us after taking the line integral? It will be giving us 0 only. Means I will form a closed loop, and in this closed loop, whatever line integral that I'm getting only on this part, but I'm getting 0 line integral in this part. If I'm getting 0 line integral in this part, then what do I get then from there? Then in a closed loop, already it is a closed loop now. Then in closed loop, what should I get the line integral to be? Then it will be equal to
mu naught I.
Mu naught
into I. But I was confused here. I think there is something missing here. I have to see, I have to be careful, perfectly logical in my arguments. What I thought actually, I was thinking like this. You may not have thought that way. I was thinking I have 2 ways to go. In this also, I can close the loop in this way for the parabola, or I can close the loop in this way for the parabola. Same way for this, I can close loop in this way, or I can close loop in that way. And depending upon which way I am closing the loop, will I be getting same value of line integral or opposite value of line integral? I'm just thinking about that. Tell me once, will we be getting same or different? I should be getting same. If we are getting different, then there is something wrong. If I'm taking this kind of parabola and the current is going in which direction? Current is going, it was coming out, I think from here. It was coming out. So current is out. If I put the right hand thumb, if I apply the right hand thumb rule here, then the fingers are in this direction, and we are also taking line integral in the same direction. Then I should take it as mu naught I positive. But if I go opposite way now, this way if I go, then here, now this current is coming out, but it is outside our loop. I don't have to see about this current. I have to see this current. This current is entering into the loop. It is entering in which direction? It is entering into the plane, cross, minus k cap. And in which direction my loop is? The direction of the loop, the orientation of loop is also?
Minus k cap.
Minus k cap. Same again. Again same means again I will get it as mu naught into plus I. I'm not getting it as mu naught into minus I. I'm getting mu naught into plus I in both the cases. So both will give us same result only. Then whether it is any function it could be, answer will always be same. Now does it even matter that I am passing it from the origin, or if I take this way, it is not passing from the origin, but it is at a distance a by 2 from here. Then also same result, again mu naught into I, as long as we are from infinity to infinity. And that curve also could be of any shape curve, but once we reach infinity to infinity, then always answer is mu naught into I, or it could be mu naught into minus I also in some places. When it could be mu naught into minus I. If I, in this parabola, I had given you to take the line integral this side, but if I change the direction of this, if I say take the line integral in this way, then it is dot, current is coming out here, means dot means the thumb is pointing outwards, but my loop here is formed in which way? Loop is formed in clockwise sense, but the current is coming in dot direction, and dot direction means that is opposite of clockwise. Dot means if I have to curl my fingers, then I have to curl for dot, for producing dot, I have to curl fingers in this way, right? You understand that? Thumb is coming outwards, so fingers should be curled in anti-clockwise direction. But here the line integral we are taking in clockwise direction. So this is opposite of that. And if it is in opposite sense, then we should be writing it as minus mu naught into I. So there will be two answers possible always, either minus mu naught into I or plus mu naught into I, depending upon the direction of line integral which we are taking, that is matching the direction of the sense of current or not by right hand thumb rule. For example, if I take line integral in this way and current inside it is in this way, then the current is in up towards me, and the line integral is also pointing in which direction? Anti-clockwise. That is also like towards me. Anti-clockwise direction means, anti-clockwise means dot and clockwise means cross. Okay, so we can think that these two should be in same sense, then we will take positive. If these are in opposite sense, then we will take it as negative. Understood? Understood or not? The direction part.
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Remaining students?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then next is, there was one more question
Sir,
in my
time's
mind.
up, sir.
Wait a second. I think I rubbed that question or what? There was one, okay, this question, yes. This question, how to do? 1 and 2. Can you do this? Or maybe I'm leaving this lecture here. In the next lecture, I will be taking these questions. I will begin the next lecture by these questions. But I have already given you enough understanding. If you are logical enough, you will be able to do these two also. Although they are slightly different. They are slightly different and needs a little bit of different thought process. One, I think, if because you are listening my classes from the first year itself, then at least I have really strong expectation from you that one at least you should be doing yourself only. Although 2 is also very simple, we can do that also. Okay, anyway, I'm ending it now.
Sir, 1 sec. Sir, what is the situation in 2, sir?
Situation is, again, you know, the red color is the current and the yellow color is the line integral path. And line integral I am taking, okay, direction I have to tell. I am taking line integral in this direction. There are two current carrying loops. There are two current carrying loops, but I have to take line. Oh, sorry. I think I did not mention it completely. Sorry. I should have written it here. Line integral is not in the closed loop. I have to take line integral in the, from, let us say x from A to B. I have to take line integral from A to B. This is A point, this is B point. I have to take line integral from A to B only. Okay. And we have to find what its value is. Okay, this is one thing. And here also I have to take line integral from A to B. Means I'm not taking closed integral this time. I am taking only from A to B. In this also from A to B, in that also from A to B. In this it is infinite wire which carries current from minus infinity to plus infinity. And there are two white planes. The top of white plane to top of another white plane. The angle between those two white planes is theta angle. Angle between those two white planes is theta. And I am going from the top of one white plane to another white plane through this yellow path. And I have to take the line integral through this yellow path. I'm not giving the path shape. Reason? Because it is really not important for us. We can get it independent of any path. It will be same. If you want, you can take it just like a straight line only. But answer is independent of path. Therefore, I'm not mentioning the path shape here. I'm not giving the function. Okay. Understood now? Question understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now you attempt once, and in both you have to find line integral from A to B only. In both cases, first question as well as in second question. Okay, then let us end it here. Right. I will post this lecture in I will upload it in YouTube. You can see it from there if you are missing something in between, if you want to review again.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.